Hi guys, how are you?
Yeah, hi, we are good.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? How are you guys?
Good, thank you. Good
I'm
evening.
seeing all nice faces. Good. There's still some people on not on videos. Love to see you guys at least once. Maybe that once is today. Someone else is on the beach. Oh, is that a virtual background? Okay. Awesome. Hi Valeria, how are you?
Hi, Dr. Abhishek. I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm going to put more light on you. I mean to say spotlight.
Perfect.
Awesome. So, Subhashini, are you there as well?
Yes, Abhishek, I'm here.
Okay, so can I take the first 15 minutes with Dr. Velarja and then you come on the call?
Sure, Abhishek. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, Doc, it's all your time. Just wanted to kind of brief you up what we actually do on these calls and how you can kind of add value to everyone on the call. We pretty much do this kind of success stories from time to time, at least twice or thrice a week or month, I should say. Why not a week later on? But what I want you to do, Doc, is I did not have time to call you before this, so apologies for that. So just want to go over like your career in clinical research. How did it start? Where are you right now? And just take us through your career path from the time you got started to where you are right now. Just to the next 5-10 minutes, and then I'll ask you a few questions. And if anyone has questions, they'll ask you, and then we'll end up.
Okay, not a problem. Very nice to meet everyone first. Thank you so much for having me on the call, Dr. Abhishek. So I'm a foreign medical graduate. I moved to the US 9 years ago. When I moved here, I didn't have any prior clinical research experience. And just because of my family circumstances and everything else that was going on at the time, I didn't decide to go through the USMLE path, but I wanted to go into something else. At the time, the only possibility that I saw for myself as a holder of a foreign medical degree without a US license and without any prior hands on experience in the US was clinical research. And I started applying for jobs without any prior knowledge, no certificates, no courses, and as I said before, no experience. I was a little skeptical in the beginning as to whether I was going to get a job or no. But, anyways, I kept applying. And in a matter of 2 months, I believe, I got my first offer. Actually, got 3 offers at the same time. And I accepted the one that wasn't the closest one to me, but the one that actually the people who interviewed me just left the best impression on me. So it was a clinical research coordinator position in a private dermatology office in Manhattan. I was hired as a research coordinator, and I was hired in the month of April. Started working there. Initially, when I started working, they only had three studies, and by September, I was promoted to a clinical research coordinator number one. We got 5 more studies. And then I'm not going to go into too many details. I will just go through like the course of my career and the main bullet points, and then you can go ahead and ask me specific questions if anything is particularly of your interest. By April, I was promoted to clinical research coordinator number one. And then by March of next year, which was less than 1 year since I started working there, I was promoted to a director of clinical research. In less than 1 year, we went from 3 to 15 clinical trials. By year number 2, we went to, I believe, 2025. And I stayed there for almost 5 years. When I left as a director of clinical research for 4 years and a couple of months. And when I left, we were close to 40 clinical trials. The only reason for leaving that place was it's actually very interesting. I live in Greenwich, Connecticut, and I worked in the city. And I was definitely not looking for a job. I was very happy where I was working. I was getting paid good salary. I was very happy with what I was doing, our patients, our studies, the people that I was working with, very important, the PIs, sub-Is, other study coordinators. And I got an email one day from a research institute in very close to my house, 15 minutes from here, asking if I was looking for a job. And what I thought to myself was, I'm definitely not looking for a job, but I'm curious to see what are they doing, if they're doing anything differently than me, and maybe sort of like steal some of their ideas. And I applied to my site. Also, at that time, my previous site was acquired by a chain of dermatology offices from Florida, 13 offices, and we were the only one with a clinical research site. So the whole idea was for me to help all the other dermatology offices to open up their own research sites and grow them. So that was one other reason why I wanted to go to the research institute and see what they do. So I went there one Monday on my lunch break when I was working from home. And it's actually a neurology research institute. So very different than dermatology. Well, different when it comes to the specialty, but when it comes to clinical research is the same everywhere. The methodology, the protocols, the way you do clinical research, GCP, and everything else that you have to follow, everything is the same no matter what specialty you work in. And so I went there. The interview went amazingly well. I asked them all the questions that I had. I got all the answers that I needed. And fortunately or unfortunately, I got an offer on the spot, which I hesitated for a few weeks whether to accept it or not. At the end of the day, I did accept it because it was much closer to my house and I had a second child. So it was more convenient for me. So 2 years ago, I moved to a clinical research institute for headaches and migraines. Excuse me. We have well, the role, I didn't tell you about that. So I was hired as a clinical research manager. So it's basically, again, a chain of clinical research sites. We are the main one out of, I believe, 16 sites in the United States right now. At the moment, we have close to 50 studies. I am supervising 7 study coordinators at my site and 2 to 3 study coordinators at all the external sites. I work with a great team of neurologists, headache specialists, movement disorder specialists, great study coordinators, a lot of pre-med students, very young, bright, full of energy. And yeah, here I am. 8 years later, still in clinical research, and everything so far is going great. So please go ahead and let me know if you have any specific questions when it comes to my career path.
So, Doc, thank you for that brief introduction. So what I want to kickstart is something that will add value to everyone who is in clinical research right now.
Yes.
If I understand correctly, if I have to summarize, you started as a CRA, CRC, and then you become a manager. Now from manager, you went to some senior level roles, and then now you're as a director overseeing like 40 to 50 clinical trials and CRCs, right?
I was a study coordinator and then a director of clinical research, and right now I am a research manager. Yes.
Okay, so let us say if you have to redo your career from scratch right now, going to be a CRA, what would you do different?
Nothing. I wouldn't do anything different. Believe it or not, if I was offered a higher position in the beginning, I would have not accepted it. I didn't have the experience. I didn't feel comfortable accepting a higher position, even though I had a degree. So sometimes they can open up different doors for you. If you don't have the experience, if you don't feel comfortable accepting a higher position, don't do it. Why? Because you can, in a matter of few months, you can get there. But if you get thrown in the fire in the very beginning and you're not ready, you can get burned. So that's my just personal way of doing things in life. Even if when I was in medical school and just education wise previously, and I worked in Germany before I came here, I worked as a medical doctor there. I would never put myself in a situation where I don't feel ready to perform well, where I don't feel knowledgeable about the position, my responsibilities, and that is the only reason why I started from the very beginning. And I love that saying. I don't know if you know about that, but we have it in my country where we say we build a house from the basement, not from the roof.
Mhm.
So in clinical research, you can move up very quickly. It all depends on how knowledgeable you are, how proactive you are, how detail oriented you are, how organized, how motivated, and how just ready you are to move up. There are so many opportunities, not on a research site level only, but at a CRO level, at a sponsor level, you name it. There is a lot of opportunities, a lot of possibilities in clinical research.
Guys, that's all I had from you, Doc. So, folks from clinical research, any questions for Dr. Valerie?
I don't really have a question. It's more like a comment. I will say what you said last were really strong words of wisdom, like start from the scratch so you don't get burnt. Because I think I asked Doctor that same question the day I had one-on-one with him. I asked him a question. I don't know if you remember that. I have some people that don't have experience, but they just jumped into it and they got the job. And he told me the same thing. He said, Yeti, don't do that. Start from the scratch. And before you know, fine, you can be knowledgeable, you can grab things easily. But at the same time, the responsibility, if you can't handle it, before you know what's going on, you're going to get burned or you get fired. So why don't you start from the scratch and grow on the job? Then the second thing I was going to say, you said within a speed of like 9 months, you rose very high to a higher position. So that means it's really, if you know what you're doing and you're on task, you could, let me say, I don't want to say the sky is your limit. Let me say heaven is your limit. If you really know what you're doing, there's the prospect of you rising higher in the career.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's all I have to say because I'm interested in the CRA, so that's why I'm jumping on it.
Can I ask a question?
Guys, please mute if you're not talking. Thank you.
Hi,
Okay.
can I?
Please go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, doctor. Great to listen from you. It's like it's kind of a story come true, for all of us here attending the classes, we just want to get very positive, what should I say, a push to go into a role of a dream. So as you said, as I understood your role going from starting and then going into a very important position as you are now, how is the work-life balance?
Very good. I have never worked more than 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. 8 to 4 or 9 to 5, to be 100% honest with you. I even told my current job when I interviewed, at the time I had a 3-month-old baby, and I said, I have a 3-month-old. I will be taking days off babies get sick. She was starting daycare. They were completely understandable and very appreciative that I let them know beforehand. I've never had any issues. I still have 2 kids, one in school, one in daycare. School calls me at least once a week. Daycare calls me at least once a week. Something happens, I have to step out, which is very important to me as a mother and just as a foreigner here who doesn't have any family and any support at all. So work-life balance is great. I love it, and I wouldn't change anything about it. And especially now that I work only 15 minutes from my house, even before when I was commuting, it was still good. But it was just taking a little bit more time of my day, taking the train, going to the city every day. But anyways, then and now it's very good. No night shifts. I live in a townhouse, and my next door neighbor is an orthopedic surgeon, and I never see her. And unfortunately, she still doesn't have a family and doesn't have kids. She's a little older than me. And one day we were talking about, and she's also a foreigner, and we were talking about life and family and everything else. And she confessed to me, and she said, if I could go back, I would never do orthopedic surgery. I would never go in clinical medicine. It's just, I think that's the main reason why I have not been able to form my own family and have kids and everything else, because she's constantly in the hospital, night shifts, 6-7 days a week. She used to work closer to the house. Now she's working in the city, so she's commuting 3 hours a day back and forth. So when I compare myself to her, I can say that 100% my work-life balance is much better than hers. I get to spend time with my kids. I have free weekends. I get to go places with them, do things. So yes.
So
Thank you so much. Thank you.
did you share my number with her and say that I'm retired, I have nothing to do, I can talk to her? Awesome. Any other questions, guys?
Can you share your email if we have any?
We will share
Yes.
it with you. We will share it with you.
Okay.
I have a small thank you note for her. As you know, I'm lazy. I have copy pasted it. So I'll send it to the whole group here, and you'll have her email address as well, so we can take it from there.
Oh,
Yes,
thank you so
absolutely.
much, doctor.
Yeah.
Not a problem at all. Yes.
So,
Also, I have a question for both of you.
yeah, go ahead, please.
So is it better to go into fields in clinical research, especially into things like pharmacovigilance or drug safety, if you have a medical background? Like, say if you're in the field and then maybe you want to take a break and go to medical school and then come back, instead of pursuing clinical medicine. Like, is it better to have that medical background if you wanted to? Or what do you think?
I'll ask Dr. Balaji to go first. I have a strong opinion, so I'll go last.
Thank you.
Is it better to have medical background? I've worked with study coordinators who have medical background and who don't have medical background. For me personally, it's much easier to work with the ones that have medical background just because they have better understanding of protocols, inclusion, exclusion, medical terminology, and all of that. But at the same time, it wasn't impossible with the study coordinators who didn't have medical background. It did take them a little longer. Maybe they would have more questions from me when it came to medical terminology, some inclusion, exclusion criteria, but it definitely wasn't impossible. So I've seen both. I've experienced both. I think that would be my answer to your question. I don't know if Dr. Abhishek has a different opinion than mine.
Thank you.
If you're already a medical doctor and you already did your medicine, I mean, anywhere in the world, even in the US, you would be better off going into pharmacovigilance. That is something that I can prove it by numbers, like the amount of money you make, the amount of quality of life you have, and not even, I mean, I know I come out as a person who's always talking about money, but we all work for something other than money at some point in our career. But before that, you need to look at your finances as well. So I would say, if you are a medical doctor, you have a very good opportunity to have a very full-blown career with a purpose. I would say in pharmacovigilance. I might be biased because I'm in pharmacovigilance for 15 years. So I might be biased, but I think most of my colleagues who are in pharmacovigilance and other cross-functional teams, they would definitely echo my opinion. If you are a physician, look into pharmacovigilance. Now, that being said, if you are not a physician and you took a break from medical school, like how you just pointed out, and you want to choose between clinical research and pharmacovigilance, then you should choose clinical research, because you'll have more time to do things that, as Dr. Valajia said, you can do a lot more with the time, and you don't need to complete your medicine to just get into pharmaceuticals. You can just continue into pharmaceuticals. I have a lot of folks that I know who are pre-med, and now they have like 7-8 years experience in clinical research, doing exactly the same as physicians in clinical research. So that's my take.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. In the interest of time, I'm going to end the call with Dr. Valajia because I don't want to take much of your time. Doc, we're going to be connecting soon. Thank you for your time. I have one more candidate, one more physician who is in pharmacovigilance. I hope you're going to stay back on the call because this is going to add value to you, because I know you're trying to kind of understand pharmacovigilance as well. And she is a physician herself, and Subhashini, and she has already secured a job before with the basic course, and then she took over aggregate reporting, signal management, risk management, like how you did, and now she is now a safety physician right now. Recently she got secured a job, so I believe she's going to add more to you as well if you want to stay back for the next 15 minutes. So with that, let me welcome Dr. Subhashini. Subhashini, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Abhishek.
Now your audio is working. That's good.
Yes, it is.
So I kind of gave you the leeway and the run-up for what we are going to be talking. So just introduce yourself. Take us through your journey with MediPharm Solutions. When did you start? What did you do? Right from medical school to where you are right now. Quick 5 minutes, and then we'll again do the same question answers thing with all the folks on the call, and we'll end it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, Abhishek. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Hope the day is going well with you guys. I'm Subhashini Vardhareddy, and my background is I'm a physician. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm a physician, and I did MBBS back in India at University of Dharwad. And after coming to US, I stayed at home. And then after a few years, I was looking into getting into the pharmaceutical companies. I didn't know how, but fortunately, I crossed my path with Dr. Abhishek, and I got in touch with him, and I joined advanced certificate course for drug safety and pharmacovigilance. And I did that course for 4 months. And fortunately, again, I completed my course back in 2021, August. And then immediately I got into my first job, which was in October. So within a month or so, I could join my first job. I started my career as senior PV specialist, senior pharmacovigilance specialist with a CRO company. I worked for 1.5 years, and then I started taking another course with Dr. Abhishek, the certificate course for the safety management, aggregate reporting, and risk management. After completing it, I wouldn't lie to you, but it took at least 6 months for me to get the other job as a medical reviewer. So throughout this journey, I would appreciate Dr. Abhishek. He was with me all the time. He was guiding me, supporting me in every way he can. A matter of while taking the courses or during the journey of my jobs. He was always there, and I really appreciate Abhishek. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to share my story with them.
Thank you, Subhashini. Guys, before I ask any questions, are there any questions for Dr. Subhashini from you, from the whole group here? No questions?
I have one question. You
Sure.
just said you completed 2 different courses from here. So the one we are enrolled in, is it the basic one? And what is the difference between these two? I know you said it's like has aggregate reporting stuff and like you'll go in detail. So what is the difference between these two, and what position you will be matched when you complete the first course, and how about the second one?
Yeah, the first course, it's a basic course where I was doing the ICSRs, coding the adverse events for the company. But the second course is even more advanced course where I did with the signal management, aggregate reporting, where you would, I mean, it's a similar thing. Only thing is here you would review the reports as a safety physician. For this, you need your background to be a medical doctor. So that's the only difference I found, like for being in the beginner course and the advanced course. Maybe Abhishek might give more explanation, but for me, that's all I can say. I can share.
Yeah, so I mean, you pretty much covered it, Subhashini. I'm on mute now. So the first course, I mean, it's not about first and second course, guys. I think the purview of drug safety and pharmacovigilance, you have to understand all our careers. I keep mentioning this in the introductory webinar as well. Any career in drug safety and pharmacovigilance will start at ICSR level, case processing level. It's not like one is superior and another is inferior. It's pretty much how the industry is set up. If you look at the number of jobs, like let us start thinking backwards from the end result in mind. We want to have a career in drug safety and pharmacovigilance. So you start off your career with having a job in drug safety and pharmacovigilance where there are more number of jobs. Like for example, if you take any company, drug safety department, their basic, or I would say the bulk of their work will be in individual cases. So let us say if they are like, let's say cross-sectionally, there are like 10 people in the department, 8 people will be involved in case processing in the individual case workflow. There might be 2 out of 10 who are involved in other things that might be related to aggregate reporting or risk management or management or signal detection and all those things. So the bulk of the jobs in drug safety are in basic ICSR processing, which we cover in our first course. If I have to say, the first course are advanced drug safety and pharmacovigilance. So once you kind of understand that, get a job. I always say that it's like a 2-step process. You can do the first course, you get a job, or you go into the like the industry experience, get some experience, and then come back and do the second one. Some people do it back to back. The reason being, for the first course, you don't really need any kind of educational qualifications. You really are going to do this course if you are willing to learn and willing to understand this and apply this in your day-to-day pharmacovigilance activities and in what your job entitles, you're good to go. But when it comes to the second one, it's more intense. It's something that requires you to kind of think a lot, and your thinking will help you if you have the right educational background. Now there are pharmacy graduates, nursing graduates, medical graduates, dental graduates who can do this. It's not like the other people cannot think, but I mean, like the way we the way these classes are done, whether it's aggregate reporting or signal management or risk management, they are very intense in teaching. We don't use non-medical terminology. I'm not going to be saying heart attack for myocardial infarction. It will be pretty much going to be myocardial infarction, and yeah, it's something that only the medical terminology will be used a lot. And that is the reason why, and again, you will be doing a lot of data review, data analysis. You'll be going into literature review. You have to read a lot of publications, so it's more intense. And because of interest of time also, if I have to do like 4 classes, instead of that, I am pretty much crushing the 4 classes of content in 1 hour of that course that we are doing. So that is also one more reason why, like Subhashini can allude to this. It's not like you just have to hear the module once. Like, for example, if you do the case processing modules that you're doing, probably I would say if you go through the module once, you pretty much get the content, you pretty much get the feel of the subject. But when you go into the signal management, aggregate reporting, risk management, it's not rocket science again, but the first time you will not understand a lot of it. It will be pretty new to you. But the second time, third time, when you review that content, it kind of falls in place for you. Again, it depends on individual. I'm not putting everyone in the same boat. There might be individual differences. But again, when it comes to your career, I would like everyone to focus on ICSRs, case processing, what we teach. Because if you do not know that, you will not, I mean, these are all things that I explained in the webinar before you enrolled, that if you don't understand individual cases, what is happening with the case processing, the workflow steps, how you do MEDRA coding, how you write a narrative writing, how do you submit the cases, and how you review the cases, you don't know all these things, you will not know how to like kind of do everything together. When you see aggregate reporting, you are reviewing all these individual ICSRs from an adverse event point of view. So if you don't know one case, how would you know how to review, let's say 20, 30 cases as a case series? The same thing with risk management, the same thing with signal management. It's a different lens in which you see the subject, but it requires more. So I don't want any kind of confusion here. I want to keep it very simple. Simplicity is very key when you kind of take this kind of path. So the first step is to do ICSR processing. Make sure you understand it thoroughly. Be very confident with the core modules. Go through the self-learning modules yourself. You will understand as much as you can. You'll understand every self-learning module. Apply for jobs. We will give you the assistance needed for job placement. Get your foot in the door, get your pharmaceutical career, get started with an ICSR job. And if time permits, everything falls in place, based on your capabilities and whatnot in life, just do the second one. And again, I always say this, after that, you should not be doing any other courses. There's not much there. I mean, people say that, oh, can I do CMC course for MEDRA coding? Can I do this for that? This for, yeah, can I go to DIA and do again risk management, again this? So it's like saying I'm a physician, but I want to do a phlebotomy certification. It doesn't make sense. So you don't need to do all that. It's just you can continue your education with the guidances, with any kind of leadership courses in DIA. You can do that as your career evolves. But from a subject standpoint, this is it. You don't need to do more than this. And I'm not telling it just because these are the things that MediPharm Solutions offer. If I were to be any of you as a student in pharmacovigilance, I mean, you will understand it. Like Subhashini, you can tell me what do you feel after doing the 2 courses? Do you still want to do any other course out there? I mean, I'm sure you have Googled enough.
No, Abhishek, I will stick with whatever I did.
Yeah, so that
I wouldn't deviate.
Yeah, that's my take on this kind of scenario. And again, individual differences do happen, and we are glad to assist you as we go along. But I think most of you who are on this call from pharmacovigilance should really focus on just the ICSR core modules, understand that, get a job, keep moving on, and then think of doing the signal or risk or aggregate reporting. And we'll help you if you need help on that sphere, but right now just focus on it. So Subhashini, I just have a question for you. So right now, what is your title?
It's medical safety reviewer, Abhishek.
So I know you're yet to start the job, that I know, but what was your day-to-day life when you were a case processor kind of role? Like, I think you were a senior pharmacovigilance specialist, right?
Yes, yes.
With Profarma, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what was your day-to-day life? Like, what were you doing from 9 to 5? Like the first thing in the morning, you open your laptop, and then what do you do?
Yeah, I was mainly doing end-to-end case processing, Abhishek. I mean, more than doing, I was training they gave few people to the, I mean, they allotted few people to the, they gave 10 people to me, saying that I need to train them. Fortunately, I got Argus training from you, so I could very well train them on Argus. So mostly it was training them on Argus, certifying them on Argus, looking into the case processing, right from the triage to book into triage, and then doing all over the Argus. Mainly, I was going through the Argus, Abhishek, I would say.
Got it. Got it. Okay, that's good. That's good. Guys, any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Subhashini, for all the good advice. So how difficult it is to get a job after completing this course?
I would say it might take a month or two, but then I would say be positive, be motivated. That's all I can say. Like, be confident, keep applying. Every day you need to apply. Abhishek says whoever applies, they get the job. They end up getting the job. So even I agree to that. So every day you have to keep applying until you land in the job. Maybe 1 or 2 months, I would say. At least that's what it took for me. Maybe for the second job, it took 6 months, but the first job, it was just a matter of 1 or 2 months.
So most of the jobs are remote, or it's hybrid type, like you have to go to the office? Or
earlier it was remote, but now I think it has started like hybrid kind of roles. So I think both are there in the market now. Like,
okay.
Thank
you so much.
So this current position, remote?
It is hybrid, Abhishek. I have to travel, work for 2 days there, and then the 3 days work from home.
Is it with a CRO or a sponsor, the new one?
It's a medical device company. It's a small startup company.
Oh, nice. Really
Yeah.
nice. How was the interview process?
Yeah. That's a good.
I would say it was intense because I had to go through 7 levels, I would say.
Okay.
And it took the interview alone, it took 2 months. So every other week I used to have an interview. It was a long process, but it was good, and everything I would say stick to your modules. When you stick to your modules,
that was going to be my next question.
It will become easier for you to answer them, and stick to basics, I would say. All they asked is basics. Maybe 1 or 2 questions were out of my way, but then sticking to my basics really helped me.
Perfect.
So one thing I would like to add on that, not to kind of polish anything here, because I just want to make sure everyone gets this right. Guys, look, the story of Subhashini has some similarity, may have some similarities with what you may be doing, but it's not like her difficulties are your difficulties, and it's not like her challenges are your challenges. If she has 7 rounds of interview and it took 2 months, don't assume that your interview is going to be 7 rounds and 2 months. Of course, if you are getting paid anywhere close to 200,000, it has to be intense. No one is going to give you the job on a platter saying that, oh, you're hired on like 5-minute call. They do with their due diligence, so that is acceptable. So don't take it on face value what she's saying that, oh, this is how intense the drug safety interviews are. Like, if I may ask her, then probably you'll understand. Subhashini, how was your first interview with Profarma? How did you get the job? Go through that interview process.
It was a 15-minute call, Abhishek.
So what I'm trying to say is, look at the spectrum here. The first job was just 15 minutes call, and she did the first job. First interview well. She got into the case processing role, different titles, but still by the end of the day, it's case processing. And then she got the second job, but it was very intense, 2 months of grilling and 7 different rounds. And again, you see the spectrum here, so don't take everything this is how your story is going to be. So that's not the case. But the point I wanted to stress on is whether it is the first interview or the second interview, the point that she was talking to you guys is the core modules, is the modules that we are. Once you have the subject, once you know what it is and how to communicate that, it doesn't really matter how intense and how long the interviews are, you're going to ace them anyway. So I always I depend on my subject, I depend on my communication and confidence rather than how serious or how intense the interviewer is. Because by the end of the day, how much intense the interview is, if you really know your stuff, you are going to be fine with any kind of question they ask you. So that is something I want you to tell. Now, it may require a lot of preparation. I still remember when I went to an interview as for the very first time as a drug safety physician, I did prepare a lot. I had I had a suitcase because I had to fly to Boston for this interview. So I remember filling the suitcase with all kinds of printouts on one side of the suitcase, and the next side of was my clothes, because I wanted to make sure I read through everything that I know from 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. and attend the interview at 9:30. And that was my preparation for my first interview. So you will have your own story to say once you go through this. So I just want you to be aware of it, cognizant that you need to create your own story and you need to create your own kind of picture on this, and don't take it on what Subhashini is saying, oh, this is how intense it is, and then kind of feel demotivated here. So that's good. That's good. So what next, Subhashini? I know there are no courses that we can offer you, but I think I'm happy for that. But what next for you? Where are you going from here?
Probably I want to get into the ladder, Abhishek, obviously for financial reasons and as well as the role, I would say. But yeah, but here I'll take my own time, like at least 2 years. I want to be here, learn. Medical device is something very new to me. So I just want to learn and get into the ladder.
Awesome. This ladder is too long and you have the strength to go ahead, do what you have to do.
Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you.
And Subhashini, where did you find the job posting for this job? And in both cases, your previous job and this one, which way of job hunting was in your experience the most successful one? Was it a job advertising websites? Was it company websites, connections, LinkedIn, social media?
It was an Indeed.
Indeed. Okay.
Yeah.
In both cases? For this one
First job, luckily, Abhishek, he gave an opportunity to work in Profarma. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Good
Second
to
one,
know.
yeah, I saw in Indeed, but then throughout the hiring process, Abhishek, he just helped me a lot. He supported me. He guided me. I would say like his help was there more than anything to land in this job.
just to make you feel even better for the medical device company, I worked with a lot of medical device companies before at my previous place. A
Oh,
lot of
wow, nice.
laser companies. Very interesting, very innovative, very cutting edge technology. So a lot to learn and huge opportunities for growth.
I
So
need
that's
your
the
email ID now, Valerija.
yes.
Awesome, guys. So this is really wonderful to hear all these stories. And again, if these calls are really helping you, what I would take out of this call is, I mean, I keep asking. I mean, I let Subhashini answer this. So I always ask this, Subhashini. Finally, Geeta, you had a question. You had your hand raised.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Good,
Geeta.
good evening, ma'am. It's really
Mhm.
nice to meet you. So my question was, I recently got an opportunity for a validation analyst in a medical device company. So are you, I mean, do you know what that means? Yeah, obviously you do know. So
I
apparently
don't have a clue.
thing is even
Sorry
I,
about that.
oh, it's okay.
But I
So
think once you join, they would walk you through, so you don't have to worry.
yeah, so
I think they'll give you a couple of weeks to go through the job responsibilities. So
yeah.
I think, yeah, we'll do wonder.
So
No, no,
Geeta,
Wonders. Thank
here is the thing. You're telling me that you got a job, but you don't know what, you have no clue what the job is.
yes, sir. This is actually very surprising even to me too, because I got that. I mean, it's not official yet, but the thing is, I got to know about it through some mutual acquaintances. So
But
the
did you have a job offer?
yeah, I do. I'll be starting within a month or so.
So did they interview you for the job or no?
Yeah, they did ask me for like my qualifications and like few other stuff like my previous experience and my knowledge about like the FDA or and other like they basically I worked as a medical content analyst, so most of my questions were related to the APA style format of writing like writing thing and everything. So the thing is I joined MediPharm Solutions. My question to ma'am, Subhashini ma'am, is I joined MediPharm Solutions even before this offer came up to me, ma'am. So the thing is, I was curious from then that how can I leverage my whatever the course that I'm going to do. I have enrolled for drug safety and pharmacovigilance in MediPharm. So will I be able to leverage this course in that to get myself into a better position in that company?
No.
As I said, Geeta, I'm also new to a medical device. I think Abhishek would be the best person to answer you.
So Geeta, I can connect with you offline. We can discuss more about it. But just to give you a straight up answer, you will not be able to use drug safety and pharmacovigilance in validation. The reason why they offered you this job is because of your expertise in medical writing, and what they feel is they can train you in validation. See how that goes for the first 1 month.
Okay.
That would be my advice to you. See how that training goes in the first 1 month. Validation is much easier. QA, QC kind of roles. I don't know the subject around it, but I know people who have done it, and they kind of switched into PV. But I'm sure from a financial standpoint, it doesn't pay you anywhere close to what PV will pay you later. So if you got a job, if they think that okay, this person has the brains to understand validation, see that how the training goes for the first 1 or 2 months, and then if you really think this is something you would like to continue, I mean, of course, if it's a financial reason, absolutely continue, but if not, look at your other options.
No, I'm confirmed dead set on continuing with pharmacovigilance. This was something completely unexpected that was
I mean,
thrown.
I'm not surprised this happened, because many times this does happen. And I keep telling this to our students as well when they come to job placement. Just because you don't feel comfortable with the job description, don't do too many filters and stop applying. Apply, it's okay. I mean, you're not getting charged for applications, right? So this is exactly what it is. And they, some people will say, oh, she has this education, we'll give her a try. So that's what happened with you, I guess, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So again, that's my take on it, but we can connect offline. If you need some help, I'll assist you. But pharmacovigilance is a completely different thing, and I would say definitely superior than what you'll be doing in validation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I know it is. I was just curious if I can like leverage with those people, like I'm doing particular course, would this like help me to get into a better position? That's exactly what I wanted to know. That's
They would not help you because they would lose a resource.
of course.
Yeah, connect with Abhishek. He's the best person to guide you.
We used to have a person who used to teach validation, not with MediPharm, but he was interested. He used to teach on Saturday, Sunday, done with validation.
Okay.
Like 9 to 5, 9 to 5. I mean, like, is that all validation? He used to say yes. He was very smart and he used to teach everything in like 9 to 5. 2 days he used to run a workshop, and it was crazy, but I don't know how it works. But yeah, good luck with that. We have more. Kevin, you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question, Abhishek.
Wait. Let me take questions from the students.
Okay.
Kevin.
Yes, I have a similar question like she did, because I was offered a position to help do a clinical publication, a research publication, and I did not. Will that help me with PV, or should I not do it? Waste my time to do it?
Are they paying?
No, it would be like a volunteer thing. They wanted me to help them in there. I do some research publication and help them to write it, and they invited me. So I told them I don't know, because I was doing this. I don't want to waste my time if it's not going to help me get a job.
Yeah, you're wasting your time.
All right, then. Thank you.
Yeah. Doc, there's one more hand raised.
Yeah, I have a question. Where are the most job opportunities for safety? Is it in CRO or in pharmaceutical companies?
It really depends on the season of the year. Let me put it this. It's a very good question. I'm glad you asked it. Let me put it this way. There are more pharmaceutical companies in the world, let us say in the US. The number of pharmaceutical companies in the US are definitely more than the CRO companies. So you may think that, oh, there are more jobs in pharmaceutical companies than CRO. Obviously, common sense based on that equation. But let us say in the first quarter, like quarter one, Jan, Feb, March, you will see a lot of jobs in pharmaceuticals, because quarter one is the most hiring thing. If you go into labor statistics across all healthcare companies or healthcare, all the industries, there's more hirings and least unemployment in quarter one. So most of the jobs come from pharmaceutical companies, and we'll have more jobs in pharmaceutical companies. Quarter two, quarter three, I would say mix of both, but I would say quarter two, quarter three, it's 50-50. But quarter four, which is where we are right now, October, November, December, is definitely CROs. Every year, I did mention this in the other call as well, more of our quarter four company jobs in especially drug safety are in CROs, because what they do is all contracts kick in, like CROs work on contracts with the pharmaceutical companies. So they'll have bulk hirings to show that they have enough resources to take on a contract in January. So let us say when Subhashini joined in 21, Profarma had bulk hirings. Before that, it was IQVIA, right when COVID hit in 2020. And 2020, and again, Moderna, Pfizer, BioNTech, they all had CRO companies helping them with this COVID vaccine approval. So we had a lot of bulk hirings. And always we say that December month is a holiday season. Everyone thinks that, oh, I cannot apply because now it's very slow, the market is dull. I always get this question from folks who are applying for jobs or coming into the courses: how is the market? Like it's like asking what is the stock price of Apple tomorrow. I cannot say how the market is tomorrow, but I can say that if you keep applying, you get a job. The reason why we in the sense MediPharm Solutions places maximum number of students in any given month, then December. Like in December, we have the maximum job placements because our students apply when no one is applying. And that's what I figured out. Like that's why I keep saying that do not get discouraged if you don't see some result in the first month or second month, because by the end of the day you don't need two jobs. You only need one single job that you can do very well. So don't get discouraged with all these rejections and everything, and it will come your way. So to answer your question, Q4 is CRO, Q1 is pharmaceuticals, and Q2 is mix of both. But I would say either way, if you keep applying, I don't know how many times Subhashini would have taught, this guy has no other word than keep applying. Why doesn't he not even change his advice to something else? I don't want to change because that is what has helped all these years. And why should I change if something is working very well? For last 7 years, it has been working. I don't want to change that. So to answer your question, there are different seasons for different things, and that is the reason why we do these calls. That is the reason why we do job placement calls. That is the reason why we kind of communicate with you what is happening out there, because I get a lot of calls and emails. I filter them to kind of come to know what is happening with any of the companies. Like even today, we got like 15 calls saying that, oh, they're asking for referrals and references and this and that. And then I found out this company is just asking for references. There are no jobs in that company. So I asked them, why are you even asking for references if you don't have jobs? Because they just want to market with that references. So, and then I was able to save those students from saying that, hey guys, don't waste your time applying for this kind of companies that did not exist yesterday. So again, I don't know how much of the story that you understood, but you'll understand all these things as you come into job placement. I would say just keep applying when you get into that point. Don't get discouraged with 1 or 2 rejections, because rejections can happen because of n number of reasons that you may not be in control of. So you don't need to take it serious, or you don't really need to take it personal, I should say, when it comes to rejections in pharmaceuticals, especially with job applications. I'm sure Subhashini got rejected many times.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's my take on this. I hope these calls are adding some value to you. And I believe these are the calls are more important than the subject, not like comparing both of them, but why we want to do, or I personally feel like these calls are important is, I kind of made this very clear to you in the initial part. Subject is not going to be, the subject knowledge should be there. You need to know your modules, you need to know your subject, but that is not going to be making you say, oh, I did not do this interview well because I did not know an answer to one question. Subject is never the point. It's all about your mindset. And I always say this, knowledge transfer is much easier than mindset transfer. The reason why I wanted Dr. Valajia to come on the call, Dr. Subhashini to come on the call, is I want you to focus on the mindset they have, the way they are able to connect and communicate and have that confidence in going through the process. So if you can catch that, I think the subject part, one day or the other, it will sink in. Bindu, you had a question? Final question. Bindu, you there?
Hi, Abhishek.
Yeah, Bindu.
You told us before that you'll be adding the new modules regarding the medical devices and vaccines in the LMC.
Yeah. I'm going to be adding it. I'm actually going to do a call on that next week. You'll get a call. You get an email invite on that for everyone from clinical research as well as drug safety.
Okay. Okay, Abhishek, thank you.
Yeah, I want to do it before I leave. So I'll do it next week, Wednesday probably. So that will not disturb your Tuesday, Thursday classes. But anyway, guys, I would like to thank both Dr. Valadjia, Dr. Subhashini for attending this call. We'll keep doing these calls very frequently from now. We had a pause because we had to do a lot of marketing for MediPharm Solutions. So we'll keep doing this. But thank you guys. Thank you for coming on the call. Anytime, give me a call if you need anything. And I wish you all the best. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Abhishek.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank